Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. In this video I'm going to be planting up my Cascade Bonsai pot here with one of my Ficus Benjamina cuttings. So in the previous videos that I've shown you, these two cuttings were taken at the same time. In fact, this one was slightly larger to begin with. But what I've done is I put this one inside my grow box to kind of give it more heat and light and encourage it to grow a lot faster. And you can see it's much larger now than this one. And it's the right kind of size now to be planting into this pot. What it has done though, interestingly, in the last few weeks, is it's, instead of putting out stems and leaves, it's suddenly just started to thicken up. You can see it's got really quite a thick stem starting to form already. It had actually been really thin, and I was hoping it would keep growing quite thin with the high temperatures. It'll be easy to bend down, but it's suddenly started to thicken up quite quickly now. So that's why I've decided that now is the time to plant it in the pot before it gets any thicker. Because if it gets thicker, then I won't be able to bend it down, and I won't be able to create this nice cascade shape. So the pot I'm using is one that I saw in a charity shop a few months ago. Looks quite nice. Just got Chinese writing on it. I tried to translate some of it, and it seems to be some kind of poem talking about nature and things like that. Maybe if one of my viewers can read traditional Chinese, they can maybe tell me what it says. What I've done is I've actually filled the bottom of it with gravel. You can see there. I've filled it with gravel probably to about this height. And the reason for that is I want this to be quite heavy so it doesn't fall over, because it's quite a long tall pot, so that's going to give it some real weight to hold it down. Also, this was originally a vase. I don't think this is supposed to be a cascade pot, so there's no hole in the bottom, so there's no drainage, so that gravel will just help a little bit with the watering. Won't make it as hard for me to keep it well watered without over watering it, but I'll still have to be quite careful with the watering. It'll be very easy to over water this plant. As I say, there's no drainage holes, so the water has nowhere to go but to evaporate. So the mix I'm using for the compost is just quite a rich multi-purpose compost. Tiny bit of perlite, but not much really. I find Ficus Benjamina plants aren't too fussy when it comes to the compost mix. So I'm just going to fill up some of this to begin with until I get to about the right height for popping in the plant. I'm just going to check the root system on this, see if it needs to be teased out at all. Looks quite good. As you can see, I've just had it in pure peat compost. I find it does well in pure peat. The root systems aren't as big as I expected for this cutting, considering how big the top half growth is, but it looks just fine. So I'll just check that now. I want to have it kind of leaning over in a nice way. I don't want it up like that. I want it kind of up and then leaning over. So I'll probably kind of have it about that kind of angle. So I just need a tiny bit more compost in the bottom to begin with. That looks about the right height. As I say, I don't want it right up, I don't want it right down. I want it to come up and then I can cascade it over. So I'm going to hold it at that position and then fill it in with the compost to keep it in place. So I'm going to firm it down to make sure that it holds that position and there's no air gaps. It's been quite a long tall pot, it's quite easy for air gaps to form in there. That's it potted up. I'm not going to actually put the level too high on the soil. You can see there's quite a gap there. I'm going to leave that gap for now. I may readdress that later on. I may top it up. Even if I bury the stem, it's not an issue because it will just root into the compost. So now what I need to do is try and bend it over with some wires. The wires I do have are probably a little bit thin, to be honest, so I may need to double them up, or I might have to get some new wires. But I'll see what I can do with the wires that I do have. So I'm just going to start from quite low down. I'm just going to work my way around to the end of the plant, wiring it up, and hopefully this will help to bend it over. As I say before, it will probably need some more wires as this. So you can see there that's starting to bend down. What I will want to do is remove some of these other branches, because what's going to happen is, because these are some of the highest part on the plant, these are probably going to be encouraged to grow more. So I just want to nip them back. I don't want to remove them completely because they might be kind of nice to have a few small branches down towards the bottom. But I'm just going to cut them back quite hard so that they're not going to cause any issues with all the energy going back into the lower branches and not the upper branch. So I'm moderately happy with that. I'll probably do the same with these, to be honest. I'll cut them back for now. I know that these will probably regrow and I can use them to train the branches into a nice shape later on. The nice thing with the cascade is obviously you have the main stem coming down, but then you also have several stems coming off from the side, and you can have nice kind of like levels of branches and things like that. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. That's probably enough branches taken off. You can see around the side here, there's a little side branch there I'm going to leave for the moment. I might kind of pull that up at some point and have it coming off to the side to make a nice kind of feature from it. But I'm going to, as I say, keep these top ones pruned for now so that all the growth is focused on the bottom part, so it will keep growing down. I want to try and get the nice distance on that. Then I can work on more of these top ones later on. I'll just let them grow a little bit, but keep them quite short. So that's all for now from this video update. As I say, I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully this will grow quite well. I'll give it a few weeks until I do another update, possibly a few months, because it's probably going to be a little bit slower now that it's not in the grow lights. Hopefully the new pot, it will quickly put the roots in. I don't have too many problems with waterlogging or overwatering, as it will be quite difficult not having any drainage holes in this pot. I'll just give you a view now of it from slightly further back, so you can see what it looks like. So it's got plenty of space for it to come further down. I can make it cascade. I can even make it cascade further down the bottom of the pot if I put it on a pot stand. So that's the beginning of it, the beginning of my Cascade Ficus Benjamina plant. So that's it for this video, but as I say, I'll give you guys updates in the future.